There was a time when beer was simple. Water, barley, hops, yeast. That was it. Today, what you're holding in your pint may contain glucose syrup, industrial stabilisers, pesticide residues, and even additives linked to cancer, all hidden behind branding you trust. Today, we expose the 6 worst UK beer brands hiding behind fake heritage and industrial brewing, and we'll also reveal 3 brewers doing it properly. Real ingredients, no shortcuts, beers that are actually worth your money. Number 1, Stella Artois. Stella Artois has built its reputation on one powerful idea, that higher price means higher quality. Wrapped in Belgian heritage, premium glassware, and elegant advertising, it positions itself as a refined choice, a step above ordinary lager. But when you look beyond the branding, Stella's production tells a very different story. Despite the old-world image, modern Stella brewed for the UK market relies on cost-saving adjuncts such as corn and rice, alongside barley, ingredients chosen not for flavour but for efficiency. These grains ferment cleanly and cheaply, producing alcohol without contributing depth or character. The result is a beer that looks polished but tastes stripped back, its smoothness coming from what's been removed rather than what's been added. To maintain colour consistency across massive production volumes, Stella uses industrial caramel colouring rather than allowing malt selection and fermentation to do the work naturally. That uniform golden hue is engineered, not earned. Clarity is achieved through isinglass, a fish-derived collagen used during filtration, rarely communicated clearly to drinkers who assume lager contains no animal products. Hop presence, another pillar of traditional Belgian brewing, is reduced to extract form, delivering predictable bitterness while discarding the aromatic oils and natural compounds that give beer complexity. This isn't craftsmanship, it's control. Ingredient decisions are made to protect margins while preserving a premium illusion. The gap between perception and reality widens further when you consider sourcing. Large-scale grain supply chains rely heavily on industrial farming methods, and independent testing in recent years has detected traces of agricultural chemicals in mass-produced beers across Europe. While labels stay silent, drinkers are left trusting branding rather than transparency. Packaging compounds the issue. Stella is commonly sold in aluminium cans, lined with chemical resins designed to prevent corrosion during long storage and transport. Under heat or extended shelf life, these linings can leach compounds linked in studies to hormonal disruption. None of this aligns with the image of a carefully crafted European classic. Stella Artois isn't dangerous because it's extreme. It's concerning because it's subtle. It looks premium, tastes clean, and feels safe. But underneath the chalices and slogans sits an industrial lager shaped by shortcuts, additives, and cosmetic engineering. When a beer charges more while quietly doing less, the question isn't whether it's refined. It's whether you're paying extra for the illusion of quality rather than the real thing. And number 2, Carling. Carling isn't just a lager, it's a fixture of British pub culture, poured so routinely that most drinkers never stop to question what's actually in the glass. Marketed as straightforward, refreshing, and proudly familiar, it presents itself as the safe choice. But behind that image sits a brewing process shaped far more by efficiency than tradition. Unlike classic lagers built entirely on malted barley, Carling uses glucose syrup during fermentation, an industrial sugar that allows alcohol to be produced faster and at a lower cost. This shortcut isn't about improving taste or balance, it's about scaling production while keeping expenses down. The trade-off is a beer with less body, a flatter character, and a noticeably sweeter finish that many drinkers struggle to pinpoint but instinctively recognize. That lingering artificial note isn't accidental. It's the result of fermentable sugars that behave very differently from those created naturally through malt. The brewing shortcuts don't stop there. Carling relies on hop extract instead of whole hops, stripping out the naturally occurring compounds that give traditional beer complexity, aroma, and subtle health benefits. What remains is controlled bitterness, engineered for consistency rather than flavour depth. To compensate for what's lost through rapid fermentation and reduced malt content, industrial stabilisation techniques are used to maintain foam, clarity, and mouthfeel. Processes designed to imitate qualities that slow brewing would normally produce on its own. This is beer assembled to meet a formula, not beer allowed to develop character. What makes Carling particularly troubling isn't that it's extreme, but that it's normalised. It's served everywhere, often by default, consumed weekly by millions who trust the brand simply because it's always been there. Generations have grown up associating it with familiarity rather than questioning its composition. Yet Carling represents a broader shift in modern brewing, away from beer as an agricultural product shaped by time, ingredients and patience, and toward beer as a manufactured commodity optimized for margins. When you order a Carling, you're not tasting heritage or craftsmanship. You're drinking the outcome of cost-driven decisions made at industrial scale. And once you recognise how much compromise sits behind Britain's most familiar pint, it becomes impossible not to wonder what else on the bar is hiding behind its label. And number 3, Budweiser. Budweiser calls itself the king of beers, a title built on global recognition and decades of advertising power. In the UK, it's brewed under license by a multinational giant, and what ends up in the glass reflects that industrial reality. Unlike traditional lagers rooted in malted barley, Budweiser relies heavily on rice as a primary grain. Rice is inexpensive, neutral in flavour, and ideal for producing a light, drinkable beer at massive scale. It contributes alcohol without adding body, aroma or complexity, resulting in a product designed to be consumed easily rather than appreciated. During fermentation, corn syrup is used to accelerate sugar conversion, further reducing reliance on malt. These choices are not about refining taste, they are about manufacturing consistency across millions of hectolitres. To stabilise the finished beer for long-distance transport and extended shelf life, synthetic processing aids are introduced, creating a beverage engineered to survive logistics rather than celebrate brewing tradition. Hop character, which should define balance and aroma, is reduced to extract form, delivering controlled bitterness while eliminating the natural oils and compounds that give beer depth. What remains is precision without soul. Large-scale grain sourcing introduces another layer of concern. Industrial rice and corn farming relies on intensive chemical treatment, and independent testing of mass-market beers has repeatedly found traces of agricultural residues surviving into the final product. While levels may fall within legal limits, the cumulative exposure from regular consumption is rarely discussed. Packaging adds yet another compromise. Aluminium cans are lined with chemical coatings designed to prevent corrosion, yet under heat and time these linings can release hormone-disrupting compounds into the liquid. Storage conditions matter, but consumers are given no indication of how long that beer has sat warming in warehouses or delivery trucks. The result is a drink shaped more by engineering than fermentation. Budweiser's recognisable flavour doesn't come from careful malt selection or expressive hops, it comes from grain neutrality and process control. For a brand that claims royalty, its methods resemble mass production rather than mastery. This isn't beer brewed to honour tradition, it's beer optimised for global uniformity. And when a product prioritises scale over substance, the crown it wears starts to look less like heritage and more like marketing theatre. Number 4. San Miguel. San Miguel trades heavily on Mediterranean identity, selling itself as European, refined, and slightly more premium than standard British lagers. But behind the branding lies a beer engineered for sweetness and speed, rather than balance or tradition. San Miguel uses glucose syrup as a fermentable sugar, replacing a significant portion of malted barley. This shortcut produces alcohol efficiently while thinning the body, leaving behind a sweet finish that many drinkers mistake for smoothness. That sweetness isn't refinement, it's residue. The brewing process also relies on adjunct grains like corn and rice, stripping away flavour depth while protecting margins. Hop character is reduced to extract form, delivering bitterness without aroma or complexity. Transparency is another issue. San Miguel provides minimal ingredient disclosure beyond legal requirements, offering no insight into sourcing or processing methods. That lack of openness is a warning sign in modern brewing. Drinkers frequently report heavier after effects and an artificial taste profile, symptoms consistent with fast-fermented, sugar-heavy lagers. What's marketed as continental quality is, in practice, an industrial formula designed to feel imported without delivering anything distinct. San Miguel isn't terrible because it's extreme. It's concerning because it's quietly compromised while pretending to be something better than it is. Number 5. Guinness is more than a beer. It's a symbol of Irish identity, ritual, and history. But modern Guinness is no longer brewed the way its image suggests. Today's product relies on industrial processing to maintain global consistency. Clarification uses fish-derived isinglass, making it unsuitable for vegans and undisclosed to many drinkers. Color consistency is maintained through caramel coloring rather than natural variation from roasted malt. Hop extract replaces whole hops, removing naturally occurring compounds that contribute balance and complexity. The iconic creamy head doesn't come from traditional conditioning. It's created through nitrogen injection in widget cans, a technological solution designed for spectacle and shelf stability. Large-scale distribution requires stabilization methods that prioritize transport over freshness. Owned by a global drinks corporation, Guinness is brewed for efficiency, not intimacy. What makes this troubling isn't that Guinness is unsafe. It's that the story being sold no longer matches the liquid being poured. Heritage has become a marketing layer covering modern industrial brewing choices. When tradition is reduced to branding, authenticity becomes an illusion. Number 6. Greene King IPA. Greene King IPA takes the top spot because its name itself is the deception. This is not an IPA. It's a lightly hopped golden ale built using industrial shortcuts while trading on British brewing history. Adjunct grains replace traditional malt, reducing cost and flavour. Colour is adjusted with caramel colouring rather than malt selection. Hop extract replaces whole hops, delivering bitterness without aroma, oils, or character. Clarification uses fish-derived isinglass, rarely communicated clearly. Despite a founding date stretching back over 2 centuries, the modern product reflects corporate efficiency, not heritage brewing. The IPA label suggests hop-forward craftsmanship, yet the beer delivers none of it. What makes Greene King IPA the worst offender isn't a single ingredient. It's the cumulative betrayal. History is used as camouflage. Tradition is invoked without being honoured. This isn't evolution, it's erosion. When a beer abandons its roots while continuing to profit from them, it stops being misleading marketing and becomes something far worse, a legacy hollowed out for convenience. After seeing how far big-name lagers cut corners, it's time to show that not all beer has sold out to industrial shortcuts. Some breweries still brew with integrity, patience, and real ingredients, the kind of beer that honours tradition rather than marketing. These are the brands that get it right. Real malt, whole hops, natural fermentation, and complete transparency. No hidden sugars, no chemical stabilisers, no flavour-engineered illusions. If you've ever wondered whether truly honest beer still exists in the UK, the next few pints will prove it. Number 3. Fuller's London Pride. Fuller's London Pride is British brewing done properly. At the Griffin Brewery since 1845, every batch relies on real ingredients and time, not shortcuts. Pale and crystal malts, whole-leaf English hops, Fuller's own yeast, and pure London water create depth and balance naturally. No glucose syrup, no hop extract, no industrial stabilisers. Fermentation is allowed to develop flavour at its own pace. The brewery publishes sourcing details and openly shares its methods. London Pride proves that heritage and craftsmanship still exist, delivering a pint where every sip tastes like skill, patience, and honest brewing. The beer Britain deserves. Number 2. Adnams Southwold Bitter. Southwold Bitter is independent brewing at its most authentic. Produced in Suffolk since 1872, it uses Maris Otter malt, whole English hops, house yeast, and local water. Nothing else. The beer is cask conditioned, allowing natural secondary fermentation to build complexity, aroma, and balance. Adnams maintains full transparency, publishing malt sources, hop farms, and water details. Industrial shortcuts are completely absent. Sustainability and quality drive every decision, from ingredient sourcing to energy use. Southwold Bitter proves that when beer is treated as an agricultural product, not a commodity, integrity and flavour naturally follow, creating a pint worth seeking out. Number 1. Timothy Taylor's Landlord. Timothy Taylor's Landlord stands at the pinnacle of British brewing. Brewed in Yorkshire since 1858, it contains only 4 ingredients: Golden Promise malt, whole leaf hops, the brewery's unique yeast, and Pennine water. No adjunct grains, no extracts, no stabilisers. Fermentation takes weeks, allowing natural flavour development and deep character. Family-owned and fiercely independent, the brewery has rejected corporate buyouts to protect quality. Every sip is a lesson in traditional brewing, aromatic, balanced, and honest. Landlord has won countless awards, not because of hype, but because it proves that patience, Restraint and respect for ingredients create the best beer in Britain.